empty both times. Not really too shocking when you see how they fared overall.
Exactly. I mean, when you lose as much as they did.
As the forwards are Hayward and Favors. Pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. And it's Gobert in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
I was able to talk with Quinn Snyder for a moment. This is their first matchup of the season against this squad, and he knows the shot blocking in the middle will certainly be an obstacle. But he said, quote, "We've got to remain aggressive and continue to attack." Guys, he said that putting their bigs in high pick and rolls and shooting the open jumper with confidence will be key. We'll see how they do.
Thanks for getting back to us on that report, Doris. Guys?
You know, they obviously spent the brunt of their time preparing for this game by coming up with ways to attack that vaunted defense.
Attack being the operative word, all in caps. I mean, it has to be an active, assertive approach they use. They can't sit back and be passive. You know, I think anytime the shot comes from that range, the offense has done its job and done it well. Boy, for Alec Burks, he really started to put it all together in his third season. He doubled his scoring average, shooting percentage was up. Then last season, a strong start, but a shoulder injury cut short what I thought was going to be his best season yet.
Here's Burke after the Sixers pick up 2. Gobert the screen. Burke dishes to Gobert. That's a miss. He's made one and missed one. The 76ers have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. That's good. Iguodala's got his first. Now here's Burke. Iverson covering. Favors against Embiid. Favors passes to Hayward. Favors with a screen on Iguodala. Just 4 to shoot. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, as I watched Derek Favors last season, he continued to develop his offense. He was a big, unpolished athlete coming into the league. Had some conditioning problems, but now it seems like he's on track to be a force as a power forward.
Talking about Derek Favors, his points per game average went up last season, as it has done in each of his 6 seasons in the league. He's an ascending player.
He is, you know, definitely refined his moves down on the blocks, and he's also become much improved at passing out of the double team, averaging a career high in assists last season as well. The arrow is certainly pointing up for Mr. Favors.
That one misses. Utah was so tough near the end of last season, Greg. They weren't going to make the playoffs, but they did give other teams some trouble.
That's a great point. And how about going 19-10? After the All-Star break, another team that would have been in the playoffs if they were in the East.
Now here's Burke. He had 13 points in the win against the Pistons in Detroit. To the middle, here's Gobert. That one falls coming off Burke's feet.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control a team's transition.
Here's Redick. Rudy Gobert picking up that last basket. And that one's good.
And, you know, for the Jazz, you mentioned their post-All-Star break surge. I mean, that 19-10 record they had after the break was good enough for 6th best in the league.
Now, here's Burks. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Pistons in Detroit. Now, here's Redick. Defense right on him. And that one's good.
And really, the Jazz were a team nobody wanted to play after the break. They were over 500 against the rest of the West and had some big wins over playoff teams in the process.
Now, here's Burke. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. the 76ers decide to take their first time out here. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
And hard to say whether it was the game plan defensively that let them down or just the inability to really bring the fire on that side of the ball.
And, guys, it was a bit befuddling to me as to why they stuck with it. I mean, they dug themselves a hole and couldn't find the tweaks they needed to get out of it.
Here's what Philadelphia is going with right now. Spencer Hawes is checked in for Okafor. Brand comes in for Embiid. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Andre Iguodala. And it's Allen in for J.J. Redick. No good from Brand.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Burke kicks to Favors. Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Sheer, unadulterated power right there. I mean, he ripped it down with both hands.
Absolutely. A resounding dunk.
Just a take-no-chance slam by the big fella.
Now here's Allen. He kicks it to Hawes. Brand right side. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Another miss by Philadelphia.
And guys, the Spurs coaching tree extends pretty far these days. Coach Brett Brown, another former member of the Spurs staff, to be leading an NBA team.
Booker in the post. Covered by Brand. Stolen by Brand. Allen dishes to Korver. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
Well, Greg, for Brett Brown and the Spurs connection, he was an assistant in San Antonio for 7 years, was really indoctrinated in how the Spurs conducted business, Clark, before coming to the 76ers.
Yeah, he's got an interesting accent, too, a mix of Boston Australian from where he grew up and where he spent a lot of time, but no doubting his passion and his coaching ability. He's good in both.
He was actually a head coach for Australia for a while, an international player. And the 76ers call time here.
2 years ago, Utah drafted Trey Burke to be their point guard of the future. Then last year, they drafted Dante Exum. It set up quite a competition between those two.
The 76ers with a completely new group now. There's 1:38 left here in the opening quarter. Philadelphia's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Getting back to the Burke-Exum rivalry last year, both young men showed some tremendous promise, yet both shot under 37% from the field. Greg, that's got to improve.
And it will. I mean, last season was tough for both guys in terms of getting used to a certain role. But remember also, when you come into this league, a league of men, and you're that young and you haven't matured, it's going to take you maybe 2 or 3 years before you can find that consistency. And then also factor in both were getting yanked in and out of the lineup. Tough challenge for those young players as they dealt with the ebbs and flow of their confidence.
Now here's Jackson. Covington passes to Redick.
For him, he hasn't missed a single shot.
Nato. Rebounded by Covington. 76ers have gotten 7 of their first 10 attempts to fall so far. Excellent pace to their offense. And he gets it to go. He's got 10.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Booker. Great D on that shot, and it's off the mark. The 76ers leading by 3. Back to Embiid. It's hauled in by Lyles.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Plays it up and banks it in.
And, guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
It's becoming a theme in this game, Clark. They are piling up the points in the paint.
One quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. 76ers ahead. They're up by 1. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And Derek Favors known for his work ethic, and he talked about his focus on developing his skills.
I just want to get better. I just want to keep improving as a player throughout the year, just get better, keep making strides, and keep getting better in every aspect of my game.
Well, the desire is there, and sounds like the commitment that he's showing is too. How far, Ray, you think he can go?
Well, you talk about desire and commitment, and then you throw in the fact that he has the talent that can be built upon and improved. One big factor will be injuries. That's the big X factor that determines so many more careers than desire. Talent and commitment, you need to stay on the court.
Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the second quarter going back here. And what stands out to you guys from the 76ers in this one?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
Jackson is out there with Kyle Korver. And there's Iguodala. And there's Carl Landry. And it's Okafor in at the 5 spot. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia.
Well, clearly the 76ers were the youngest team in the league last season, and with all the draft picks they've stockpiled, they'll be the youngest team for a while, it seems. But if the youth can grow and develop, they could also be a force in a few years, too.
The Jazz working the ball around now. And Okafor with the block. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. Some changes for Philadelphia. Joel Embiid. He's checked in for Landry. Redick comes in for Kyle Korver. And Iverson's subbed in for Jackson. Utah also making some changes. Derek Favors checked in for Lyles. And it's Burks in for Hood. Here's Iverson. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. To give you an idea of how young this 76er team is, at one point last season, Greg, Tim Duncan had more seasons played in the NBA than the entire active roster of the 76ers.
That's hard to fathom. I mean, we all know there's this youth movement going on in Philadelphia, but they still need some veterans in that locker room. Very hard for the young players to lead.
And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for Philadelphia.
Tell you what, guys, they're showing us a lot of energy early on and racking up those fast break points.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight, and that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
And Embiid, the bucket on the assist by Iverson. Iverson's got 3 assists in the game. Jazz trail by 4. The pass to Favors. The shot from the low post is good. Favors has got 7 points in the game. Utah comes into this one after the win against the Detroit Pistons.
And they ran their offense nearly to perfection in that one. Very few possessions were wasted.
Yeah, they put the mute button on them that time. I mean, in front of a hostile crowd, they never let the fans get going. They silenced them over and over again with big, timely shots.
And Andre Iguodala, guys, one of the most unselfish players in the league. I mean, that unselfishness for me, too, is what was put to a test last season as the former All-Star was asked by his coach, Steve Kerr, to come off the bench for the Warriors. And you know what? He did it without complaint, putting the team first.
The free throw drops for Iguodala. And for Iguodala, some have said he's unselfish, Clark, to a fault.
Yeah, and you know, a great athlete and ball handler, I think he could be much more aggressive looking to attack off the dribble. He's really unique, though, a player who puts his emphasis on the defensive end and does a really good job at that end of the floor.
Catching up on the changes for Philadelphia. Hawes comes in for Joel Embiid, and Allen subbed in for J.J. Redick.
And guys, Andre Iguodala entered this league as an athlete with raw skills. And bit by bit, though, he refined his game over the years, except in the one category, free throw shooting. In that one area, he was much better over the first 5 years of his career than he has been the last 5.
Assistant, Rudy Gobert.
Now here's Iverson. 17 points for him last game against the Celtics in Boston.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air.
And we were talking about Iguodala's free throw shooting. It really is a miracle. He's become so efficient, Clark, in every other area of his game. But last year, in his 11th season, he shot the second worst percentage of his career.
Sometimes, Kevin, it's simply a matter of confidence. You miss a few and it gets into your head, and before you know it, the harder you're trying, the worse it gets.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
The 76ers have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below 70% as a team from the line.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
Utah Jazz, one of the biggest year-to-year improvements in the league last season. The big part of that, of course, was their play on the road.
And, you know, Kevin, they nearly doubled their road wins from last season by getting 17 away from home. And I thought they progressively got better as the season wore on.
He hits both from the stripe.
And for the Jazz on the road, they look to be a team built around defense now moving forward. That should bode well for their prospects as a tough matchup as a visitor.
As you said with the Jazz, I mean, defense travels very well in the NBA. Teams that find ways to grind out road wins do it with really solid defense. Jazz fans have a lot to look forward to with this group.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz.
Boy, I tell you, I thought the Jazz had a big year last season. Looked much tougher than before. The big part of that is how Coach Quinn Snyder helped the team grow. I mean, he looked like a perfect fit in his first year with the franchise.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Guys, I was able to listen in on what Quinn Snyder was going over with his team. He told the team he wanted their offense to run through Favors. Coach is looking for big things from him throughout the rest of this game on the offensive end. A lot of the scoring burden will fall on him. Maybe making those early adjustments will give them time to judge their effectiveness by halftime. We'll soon find out, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Now, here's Burke, defended by Allen. And Hayward gets it to go. You were mentioning the Jazz, and they grew last year under Coach Quinn Snyder in his first year. You know, Greg, he did the same thing with teams when he was a coach in the D-League.
That's a great point, Kevin. And beyond the growth that the Jazz showed, I think everyone in Utah was pleased with the style. Of play. I mean, Coach Snyder's got the team back to playing hard defense and really grinding out wins.
Covington kicks to Redick. Here's Brand. From the left block, he sends it through. And the 76ers lead by 3.
Wow, fired that bounce pass in there. Beautiful.
Hayward outside. Gobert the screen. And Hayward gets it to go.
After going scoreless in the first, he's really found a way to turn it on here in the second quarter.
The 76ers have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Down low, it's tipped. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. The 76ers didn't lie to themselves about last season, Greg. They knew they weren't going to be in the playoffs. They spent a lot of time last season developing their young players.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, the third straight year the Sixers would miss the playoffs. But as you said, Kevin, they knew what the season had in store. The key was that they keep those young guys focused on growth and experience and not get caught up in the fact that they struggled to win games.
Trevor Booker, he's checked in now for Utah. And good on the second, so he makes them both.
And it's clear for the Sixers, the plan has been to continue to add good young players. Eventually, I think they'll be a force in the East. There's no guarantee, but they've got a plan and they're sticking to it.
Favors can't get it to go.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
A lot of teams that win a title often have a former #1 pick leading the way, or at least a top 3 NBA draft pick as their leader. So the 76ers are trying a shotgun approach to that, trying to get as many top 3 picks as they can, hoping one turns into the next superstar.
And the 76ers call time here.
Listen, playing Western Conference teams is never easy. And for the 76ers last year, it got downright ugly. Some games against the West, they just didn't stand any chance.
And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Okafor's checked in. Embiid comes in for Elton Brand. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Robert Covington. And Iverson's subbed in for Ray Allen. Iverson with the ball. There's the dish to Embiid. That's good. Great play set up by Iverson. Iverson's got 4 assists now tonight. A lot of blowouts for Philly last year against the West, as you talked about. Greg only managed to take 6 wins in their 30 games. Clark out of conference.
And Kevin, that was tied for the fewest wins against the West in the league. But again, no surprise with Philadelphia because they really were focused on developing young talent there. Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
I mean, I like the call. I thought the defense was just there a little late.
Yeah, it looked like it. I mean, he kind of slid underneath as he got to the spot, too.
Rodney Hood's checked in for Alec Burks. The 76ers leading by 5. Iverson dishes to Embiid. The 3. And there's Iverson. That's good on the assist by Embiid. Iverson's got 5.
And they can up the ante a little bit there after that basket.
Yeah, you know, their lead's increasing, and they've got to be feeling better and better about the way this game is starting to play out now. So we'll see if they can close it out.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for them, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
And the 76ers call time here. Checked in for J.J. Redick. And a switcher also for Utah. Lyles checked in for Derek Favors. The 76ers leading by 6. And it's Korver in the corner. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. The 3 ball. That one falls. Coming off Iguodala's feed. Korver's got his second basket of the night. Well, a word you'll hear in the NBA these days is gravity. Property of great shooters to draw defenders out and space the floor. A few players with more gravitational pull, I guess you could say, than Kyle Korver.
Yeah, he commands a lot of defensive attention, actually superstar level attention.
Jazz trail by 11. Neto, and he makes good on the layup.
And Korver always moving offensively, not just to run off screens, but to set screens himself. I mean, he's a master at working off the ball to create offense for himself and others.
Embiid, no good. Utah's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Here's Booker, and Embiid with the block. I think on the clock, Neto, and they'll turn it over. Could not get off his shot. 24-second violation. Now the 76ers with it. They're on a 14-6 run. And here is Iverson. 5 points in the game. The drive by Iguodala. Korver, no luck.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Plenty of space. And he overshot that one, missing.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
That'll do it for the first half. Philadelphia ahead as they wrap up the second quarter on a 14-6 run.